Good morning, fellas, and welcome back to Me Plays Games, where we play games. My name is Matt, and in this video we'll be finishing off my series about speedrunning new Super Mario Bros. Games. This time we'll be looking at 4 different games. Well, sorta. We'll be looking at both the Wii U and Switch versions of new Super Mario Bros. U, as well as new Super Luigi U. For the most part, we'll be looking at the Wii U records, but whenever there's a difference between the 2 versions of each game, I'll point that out. If you enjoy this video and want to see more speedrunning content, subscribe to Me Plays Games. We've also got a Discord server you can join. You can find a link to that in the description. Aztecs holds the world records for both versions of new Super Mario Bros. U, and Nevadra holds both Luigi U records. As usual, shoutouts to both of them for helping me with this video. If you go on speedrun.com and compare the leaderboards for the 2 versions of Mario U, you'll notice that the Wii U version's record is about 20 seconds faster than the Switch version. That's primarily because of the fact that the Switch game has slower load times. Yeah, it's a little bit embarrassing, Nintendo. Let's start with this game, then in the second half we'll talk about Luigi U. If I'm not lazy, there will be chapters on this video, so if you only want to learn about one of these games, you can easily skip ahead. If there are no chapters, please yell at me in the comments section. It'll make this video a tad bit more convenient for people who watch it later, and comments are good for the YouTube algorithm, so we all win. The current world record on the Wii U version is 37 minutes and 6 seconds, and 37 minutes 27 seconds on Switch. Here at the beginning of World 1-1 Acorn Plains Way, Aztecs uses a trick called Fast Nut to get the Super Acorn from the Waddle Wing instantly. Like new Super Mario Bros. Wii's propeller, this is the only power-up we'll be using for this run. The rest of the level is pretty straightforward platforming. One thing to note here is that Nabbit is playable in the Switch version of this game. Nabbit is a useful tool in the beginning of the speedrun for a couple of reasons. For one, he's completely invincible. That means he can run straight through most enemies, making many levels in the early game faster. The other upside to using Nabbit is that he has the swimming controls of Penguin Mario, which makes him better in the upcoming water level than Squirrel Mario. There are a few problems with using Nabbit though. In some levels, it's still faster to use Mario because Nabbit can't use power-ups, and you need a squirrel suit for a handful of reasons later on in the game. So what runners will do in the Switch version is use Nabbit for the first 5 levels, then switch to Mario for the rest of the run right before World 5's tower. This route means that you'll be Small Mario when you get to the tower, so you have to spend some time powering up to Squirrel Mario here, instead of in the first level. Either way, Aztecs prefers running the Wii U version of this game because he doesn't really like Nabbit all that much, and honestly, I can't really blame him. Like the DS game we covered a few weeks ago, there's an opportunity to save time on the flagpoles by facing left before you grab it. That skips the animation where Mario or Nabbit turns around, which once again saves a few frames per level. At the beginning of World 1-2 Tilted Tunnel, we see a similar fast acceleration trick to the ones we've gone over in the other games in this series. By wall jumping off this pipe, you can accelerate to top speed faster than just running. The difference though is that it's even faster in these games because you can press the spin jump and wall jump buttons at nearly the same time, whereas in the other games you had to do a normal jump followed by a wall jump, which use the same button. New Super Mario Bros. Wii has spin jumps that you could use as well, but they're harder to pull off because you do it by shaking the controller instead of pressing a button in that game. On the Wii U, you boost up to the secret exit, then perform a different fast acceleration trick to get back to top speed, since Squirrel Mario's horizontal speed is way slower after he boosts up. On the Switch, since Nabbit can't use power-ups, you have to wait a split second for this platform to tilt up to access the same exit. That takes you to the secret level Blooper Secret Lair. Since you're using Squirrel Mario on Wii U, it's actually faster to wait for the current of water to push you forward instead of just swimming ahead normally. But on the Switch, you're using Nabbit, who, as I mentioned earlier, has Penguin Mario's swimming speed and controls, which means it's faster for him to just swim forwards. In both versions of the game though, it's generally best to take advantage of currents whenever you can, because they can push you forward and, in the case of the second half of the level, up. At the end of the horizontal section, Aztecs uses a technique called Blooper Skip. Basically, it's possible to enter pipes from the very corner, which allows him to get inside as quickly as possible without taking damage, even though there's a blooper in his way. This is also used in the Switch version, but since Nabbit is invincible and can go through the blooper anyway, it doesn't save as much time. After this level is a whole lot of nothing. In both versions of the game, the path to Soda Jungle opens up, which takes absolutely forever because instead of there being cannons, all the worlds are interconnected, so you have to wait for the path to open up, then walk all the way across. On the Wii U, there's also a bunch of messages that pop up here to remind you of their non-existent service, Miiverse. Speedruns are actually a tad bit faster now that Miiverse has been shut down, but you still get 4 dialogue boxes. A small optimization here is that Aztecs will have his gamepad out to press no on the touchscreen, which is faster than using a button. Overall, there's more than a minute of downtime between finishing Blooper Secret Lair and getting to start Jungle of the Giants. Wonderful. Once again, in this level, the game's music comes into play. Like I mentioned when we talked about the Wii game, enemies will stop to dance to the music every once in a while, and if you're not fast enough, this Koopa Troopa on the stairs will dance on the top step, which is slower because you can't bounce off him right away. Oh, also this is another level that Nabbit absolutely steamrolls on the Switch. Next. Like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, after beating the first level of the 5th world, a fork in the road opens up. Pick your poison, bridge over poison waters or Bramble Woods. I'm hoping it's the bridge level. Once again, the faster level is the Bramble one, and once again, it is the harder level of the two. Wonderful. This is the same for the Wii U and Switch versions, but one thing to point out here is that on the Wii U, there's a cutscene that plays after this level on the world map where Nabbit appears for the first time. Since we're playing as Nabbit on the Switch though, that cutscene doesn't happen, saving about 30 seconds over the Wii U version, give or take. By bouncing on this Bramble after boosting with the squirrel suit, you get your regular, faster horizontal flying speed back. Of course, on the Switch, since we're using Nabbit, you can just, hold right and jump a few times. Meanwhile, Mario's having a considerably more interesting adventure. At the end of this level, you'll see Astix do another fast acceleration technique where he walks off the falling donut block, then initiates a glide before immediately canceling it. Next up is the tower, where on the Switch, you, swap from Nabbit to Mario. On the Wii U, you're already Squirrel Mario, but since you haven't used him in the Switch version yet, you have to spend a little bit of extra time to get a mushroom in the first room. After that though, you basically do the same thing in both games. Take the secret pipe, then fly up to the boss door with this fancy schmancy maneuver. Fun fact, the door opening animation is slower if you open it from the very edge, since it takes longer for Mario to walk inside. So what you see here is actually optimal. The Boom Boom boss fight is exactly as easy as you'd expect. It's worth noting here that the fastest way to kill him though is by spin jumping up to him as Squirrel Mario. For whatever reason, Squirrel Mario can spin jump way higher than Super Mario. Sure, why not, I guess. Next up is the Ghost House. Great. Normally in this room, you're supposed to ride this platform up to the top, but that's lame and we have a flying power-up, so you can just do squirrel things to get all the way up. The secret exit unlocks Flight of the Parabeetles, and yes, I've had to look up the names of all of these levels to make sure I'm not mixing up the Mario U and Luigi U ones. This one is a pretty straightforward auto-scroller, although according to Astix, if you speedrun this game, you're gonna find a silly way to die here at some point regardless. Fun. Welcome to Meringue Clouds. Land of Flying Blocks is another auto-scroller. Not. Yeah, normally you're supposed to ride a cloud to the end of each section of the level, but that's lame, and the squirrel suit isn't lame, and we can just use the squirrel suit to fly all the way to the end. At the start of the level though, we see the whole slide down gentle slopes thing again. Same rule of thumb as the other New Super Mario Bros. Games. Moving on. Time for another split path. This time it's a choice between a seesaw level? Nope, you go for the Aerolift level, Switchback Hill. Not too much to write home about here, other than the fact that you can use the lifts that move right to boost yourself a little bit forwards. Neat. Time for some RNG, baby. Well, not quite yet. You have to climb up Slide Lift Tower first, but you know. According to Astix, this is the second hardest level in the run behind Red Hot Elevator Ride. We'll come back to that in due time, of course. Remember how I said it's not quite time for RNG yet? Well, I lied. The Fire Bros are random as well. Sometimes you get good RNG, sometimes the run just dies. Have fun. The Kamek fight is also... okay, that says R&D in my script. That's a typo. The Kamek fight is also an RNG-riddled meat grinder that can throw the 18 minutes it took for you to get there in the trash. If you guess where he's gonna appear next, great. If you don't, well, you'll lose a few seconds, but that's a lot in a 40-minute run. There's not too much to write home about in the Ghost House, aside from the obligatory secret exit. This time is a shortcut to Ludwig's castle, although I may as well throw it out there that you can enter this door like this, which I'm pretty sure violates the laws of like 14 or 15 branches of science. Isaac Newton is not happy with you. Next up is Ludwig's castle. I know what you're thinking. Matt, why is he walking? Did he give up on the whole, speedrunning thing? Well, no, this is a setup. Ludwig's Clockwork Castle, and yes, I had to double check the name, is cycle-based. By walking up until you reach this sign, the platform cycles will line up better to get through the level faster. Normally, when you fight Ludwig, the game wants you to play a game of Spot the Difference. The real Ludwig is the one who fires 3 fireballs instead of 2. But this is New Super Mario Bros. U, which means that if you think something is lame, there's like a 50-50 chance you can just ignore it. You can fly up and hit Ludwig before he makes his duplicates. After the first hit, you can just jump on him 2 more times before he gets the chance to jump up again in the first place. The next level is Meringue Cloud's airship. Boarding the airship. Wow, whoever named that level really does not like their job. Anyway, this is another auto-scrolling level, which is actually really nice timing, because it gives runners some time to relax ahead of Peach's Castle, the final world of the game. At the end of the level is a Bowser Jr. boss fight. Thanks to the squirrel suit, the Bowser Jr. boss fight is really quick, since once again you can just fly up and jump on him. One thing to note here though is that after the fight, the blocks fall from left to right, so the further you are to the left, the faster you'll fall. That brings you to Peach's Castle. The first level, Magma Moat, is the obligatory random nonsense falling from the sky level. It's pretty straightforward platforming. Difficult, but there isn't really too much worth noting here. Next level, please. Magma River Cruise plays out pretty much exactly like 5-4 New Super Mario Bros. Wii. There's a raft carrying you over the lava that comes to a complete stop if there are more than 5 enemies or coins on it. But like the Wii game, we can use our flying power-up to just ignore the raft entirely. Awesome. Actually, on second thought, I guess the odds of being able to skip lame stuff is a little bit better than 50-50. Next up is Rising Tides of Lava, where Astix does a strat called 3 Nick underscores, where you get a star from this roulette block by jumping on this Koopa Troopa, then throwing it into this block. At first, I thought there was some sort of music cue that runners use, but nope, you can just kinda do this. If you've watched the other videos I've done about this series, yup, same thing again. Stars make you run slightly faster, so it's usually worth wasting a second or two grabbing one. The second to last level is the red hot elevator ride in Peach's Castle. This is by far the hardest level of the run. Remember Slide Lift Tower? Yeah, this level makes that one look about as easy as playing hot cross buns on recorder. Normally you're supposed to use this elevator platform to make it to the top, but like a lot of things, that's slow and bad, so you could just use the squirrel suit to get up instead. Don't worry, the elevator rubber bands behind you if it's off screen, so you can stop and land on it every once in a while. That's basically the only bone the game throws you in this level though. Good luck. In the final level, Bowser Jr. tries to make your life harder, but once again we can cheese this with the squirrel suit. This trick, known as Paperorio Strat, is basically using Bowser Jr. to get a pretty big speed boost. You can also cling onto his clown car. Not sure why, but that's none of my business. And once again, for the first phase of this fight, you can just spin jump and glide over Bowser and hit the switch. Awesome. For the second phase, where you have to commandeer Bowser Jr.'s clown car, flying up with the squirrel suit triggers Jr.'s attacks faster than just waiting around. Then you can steal the car and give Bowser a very aggressive boop on the nose. If you aren't able to get the car back from Bowser Jr. right away, that can waste up to 30 seconds. Hit Bowser 2 more times and that's New Super Mario Bros. U done. We're probably like 10 or 11 minutes into this video, so hey, how's everybody doing? This has been an awesome series of videos to make because of how helpful the game speedrun communities have been. I'm thinking of doing some world record progression videos, specifically one for New Super Mario Bros. On the DS. I'm not sure how interesting it would be though, considering I've gone over all of the tech in another video already, so let me know what you think. That being said, let's jump into New Super Luigi U. Right off the bat, there are some pretty notable differences between Mario U and Luigi U. For one, the levels in Luigi U are considerably shorter. As you probably guessed, that means that the world record is considerably shorter as well, and you'd be right. On Wii U, the world record is 26 minutes 5 seconds, but it's 39 seconds slower on Switch. Once again, both records belong to the same fella, Nevadra. And of course, in Luigi U, the characters' physics are floatier. They jump higher, fall slower, and have lower traction. In the Wii U version of this game, you can switch to Nabbit by just holding the shoulder buttons while a level starts, but on the Switch, you have to go into the menu and change between Luigi and Nabbit manually. In both of these runs, Nevadra will be switching between Luigi and Nabbit a few times, but keep in mind that it is faster on the Wii U. Generally, the rule of thumb here is that if you need the squirrel suit for whatever reason, use Luigi, and if not, use Nabbit. Once again, Nevadra prefers the original game to the deluxe version, but this time it's mostly because of Fireball RNG and Magma Moat. Another thing we should point out before we start, every boss fight is exactly the same as New Super Mario Bros. U, so I won't be going in too much depth about boss fights in this half of the video. You use Luigi in 1-1 in both games because Waffle Wings are carrying acorns in the first level. Why yes, I made a typo in my script and just decided to roll with it, how'd you guess? Anyway, the fastest way to get one this time is just by sliding up this slope to kill the Waddle Wing, then you'll get the acorn almost immediately. In the next level, Crooked Cavern, we use Nabbit and collect this hidden star. This time though, this level features one of my favorite hidden mechanics in Mario games, star chaining. Essentially, certain blocks that normally contain coins will have a star if you have another star active when you hit them, in many cases letting you carry it all the way to the end of the level. While we're on the subject, why is Nabbit able to use stars? He can't use any other power-ups, and since he's already invincible, all it does for him is make him run faster. I guess I figured there's no point in restricting stars since it doesn't really make levels any easier. Well, you can get a few more points with Nabbit this way, so that's neat. Too bad the point counter is completely irrelevant nowadays. Oh well. The world map is exactly the same as Mario U, which means that this level has a secret exit too. This one also unlocks the secret water level, Cheap Chomp Chase. The idea for this level is basically the same as Mario U Deluxe. Use Nabbit's faster swimming and take advantage of currents whenever possible. Also, I just like to point out that this level is called Cheap Chomp Chase, but Nabbit can just outswim the Cheap Chomp. Neat. That unlocks the first level of Soda Jungle, Giant Swing Along. No power-ups necessary for this one, so you can just steamroll the entire thing with Nabbit. I wonder if they go the other way on the split path in this game. Huh. Alright then, Bramble level again it is. Does it surprise you that Nabbit is the optimal character for this level too? Yeah, this would probably be pretty awful otherwise. Back to Luigi for the Stone Snake Tower. In this game, you can ignore the snake blocks even harder than you could in Mario U because of the squirrel suit and how short the level is. This level shows off one of the few techniques that's exclusive to Luigi U. Because of Luigi's higher jump height, Squirrel Luigi can actually spin jump on a wall to scale it, which comes in handy in this level. The Boom Boom fight, like I said, is exactly the same as Mario U, so moving on. Next up is the Ghost House. This is the first level of the run where the route actually uses different characters depending on the version you're playing. On Wii U, you're using Nabbit, and on Switch, you're sticking with Luigi for the rest of the game. This is to minimize the number of times you need to go into the menu on Switch. So some of the upcoming levels are going to be harder on the Switch, and also ever so slightly slower, but the time you save by not going through the menu every other level makes it worth using Luigi from here on out. Fun fact, for whatever reason, Nabbit's flagpole animation is like a fifth of a second faster than other characters for some reason. Wow, that is a very well-constructed sentence. I will not be taking questions at this time. Parabeetle Parade, yep. The obligatory jungle secret level that's also a boring auto-scroller. Doesn't really matter which character you use for this one anyway. Welcome back to Marin Clouds. The first level, Frozen Fuzzies, is one of my personal favorites in this game. Honestly, this one feels like a good Mario Maker level, using existing enemies and whatnot in an unexpected way. Great stuff. This level is a tad bit slower with Luigi, but what can you do? Some runners will play this level as well as Crooked Cavern with Luigi though, since it's easier that way. This time we're going left of the split path and playing Wiggler Rodeo, another level that's fairly straightforward with both Nabbit and Luigi. Hey, remember that RNG tower from Mario U? That was fun, let's do it again. Welcome to Stone Crush Tower. As you probably expected, the Wii U version switches back to Luigi to use the squirrel suit, because when you're playing vertical levels, squirrel suits are cool and fun. Fortunately, the Fire Bros halfway through this level aren't the worst thing in the universe, because you can just glide over them and cling to walls as you see fit. Navadra didn't get the greatest RNG in the Kamek fight, but he still got the world record, so it's all good. And back to Nabbit on the Wii U for the Ghost House. Just jump down here to find a secret door. This level takes all of 12 in-game seconds. Awesome. Both versions of this game actually use Luigi for Ludwig's Castle, since you can use the squirrel suit's clinging ability to hide underneath these massive block things. The first part of this airship is basically bouncing near the top of the screen using bombs and cannonballs. Then the second part is an auto-scroller where you can do whatever you want. Grab a star coin for extra style points? Sure, why not? The Bowser Jr. fight is the same as the Mario U one. Boost up to jump on him, then make sure to land on the left. Welcome back to Peach's Castle. The first level, Magma Moat, is another level that's basically just difficult platforming. This time we're routing through the secret exit since that path is one level shorter. You don't do this route in Mario U because the secret level in that game is a long auto-scroller. Firefall Rising is a hard vertical level, then it's on to Current Event. This is another level that you use Luigi for on Wii U because of these platforms. It's faster to just fly over everything than actually play the level the intended way. You know, I find it kind of weird that we have so many flying power-ups in 2D Mario games. Pretty much all of them let you ignore most of the challenges the devs throw at you, but they just keep making new ones for some reason. Oh well, I'm not complaining. Makes for some fun cheese and speedruns. The first room and the final level is the same sort of idea as Mario U. Use Bowser Jr. to boost you forwards. Then it's time for the final battle with Bowser, and like every other fight in this run, it's the same as Mario U, so that's the game. Welcome to page 8 of my script, and thanks for watching this video. Astix and Navadra were absolutely awesome when it came to helping me make this video. Astix spent a solid 40 minutes typing up a storm about everything Mario U has to offer on Discord, and Navadra took about a day to message me just so that he could brainstorm exactly what was worth mentioning. So shoutouts to both of them, their channels should both be in the description. I've been working on speaking more slowly and clearly in my videos because even though these aren't meant to be tutorials, it's important that people understand what I'm talking about and don't have to rewatch something just because I talk too fast. Let me know how I did in the comments, but honestly, I don't think I did that well and I still have a long way to go. Also, subscribe to Me Plays Games for weekly speedrunning content. I'm thinking for next week we tackle Super Mario 3D World. I'm also not entirely sure when in the week I want to upload my videos, so how does Saturday at 2 PM Eastern sound for you guys? Anyway, be sure to join our Discord server if you want to hang out with me and Elias. I'll see you all in the next video. Good night, fellas. Sleep well.